Vande Mataram children, I Mr. Basavaraj Nipani welcome you all to Sir Kalam Tutorial YouTube education channel. Dear children, as you all know, in my previous video class we have started the discussion of third main topic of constitutional design, that is making of the Indian Constitution, in which we have already discussed about the path to constitution. In today's video class, let us continue one more important subtopic, that is the Constituent Assembly, in which we can discuss about the leaders of making of Indian Constitution, and we shall also find out who were the makers of Indian Constitution and what are the important roles played by them while making Indian Constitution. So let us continue. Who then were the makers of the Indian Constitution? We will find here very brief sketch of some of the leaders who played an important role in making up the Indian Constitution. We shall also try to understand what is the drafting of Indian Constitution, or what is the drafting document of Indian Constitution. The drafting of the document called the Constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives. We shall also try to find out what is mean by Constituent Assembly and who were the members of Constituent Assembly and how it was elected during the making of Indian Constitution. That can be discussed in today's video class. So the Constituent Assembly was elected right before the independence of our country. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. Constituent Assembly is nothing but it is a group of people in which there were a lot of leaders and they played important roles in drafting the Indian Constitution. And who must be the representatives of that Constituent Assembly? Some of the leaders of our country. So here elections for Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946, just before the independence. And the first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held in December 1946. In the year 1946, in the month of December, the first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held. Constituent Assembly means, as we all say, assemblies in Parliament today, where number of leaders will be sitting and discussing, debating about various issues. In the same way, before independence only, there was a plan to write the constitution for future India, as we have discussed in the previous class about Karachi session, and the drafted document which was prepared by Motilal Nehru, the father of Jawaharlal Nehru. So some of the leaders from each and every single province and each and every single region of India were elected as the representatives of Constituent Assembly. Immediately after the assembly had its first meeting in the year 1946 in the month of December. Soon after, the country was divided into India and Pakistan. And as we have discussed about partition of India in my previous video class, immediately after the independence, India was divided into two different regions, such as the Indian Union and the Pakistan Union. And the Constituent Assembly was also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and that of Pakistan. Immediately after the separation of India, immediately after the partition of India, even the Constituent Assembly was also divided into two different groups, such as the Constituent Assembly of India and the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan. And the Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members. In Indian Constituent Assembly, there were 299 members. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26 November 1949. And finally, the Constitution was adopted by the Indian citizens on November 26, 1949. November 26th is celebrated as Constitution Day. We celebrate this day as Constitution Day as it is suggested by the Union Government of India and the Prime Minister of our country, that is Narendra Modi. So 26th November is celebrated as Constitution Day, and at last it came into effect on 26th January 1950. And as you all know, the Constitution was adopted by the Indian citizens in the year 1949, 26th November, but it came into force on 26th Jan 1950, and to mark this day we celebrate January 26th as Republic Day. And as you all know, every year 26th Jan is celebrated as a Republic Day. On that particular day in the year 1950, the Constitution of India came into force. That is what we call as Ganarajyostava or Republic Day. And almost 2 years and 9 months, 17 days were taken by the leaders of Indian country to write the Constitution. Why should we accept the Constitution made by this assembly? This is the question which is arising in our mind now. Why should we accept the Constitution made by this assembly more than 6 decades ago? 6 decades in the sense, almost we have adopted Constitution after the independence, and almost we have spent 60 years. The Constitution of India was made before 60 years. At present situation it is almost 70 years. But even today we have accepted that Constitution. Even today we are abide by the Constitution. Even today we are following the laws which are set by this Constitution. Why we should accept this Constitution? We have already noted one reason above, and we have already discussed about one reason of this, that the Constitution does not reflect the views of its members alone. So there were 299 members in the making of the Indian Constitution. It doesn't mean so the Constitution which is having all the provisions, rules, laws which are set by them, these are not the opinions and the interest of only those 299 members. Those all views of the 299 members reflect and indicate the views and interests of all the citizens of India from different regions, from different communities, from different backgrounds. And it expresses a broad consensus. Broad consensus means agreement of its time. And many countries of the world have had to rewrite their constitution afresh because the basic rules were not accepted to all major social groups or political parties. But if you take some of the examples of some other constitutions, some other democratic constitutions in the world, many countries have changed their constitution. Many countries have rewritten their constitution, and they have brought some fresh rules in their constitution. But when it comes to Indian constitution, almost 70 years we are adopting the same constitution and we are being abide by the same constitution. But why some of the countries have changed their constitution? Because some of the major rules and some of the basic rules are not going to suit the future generation, and they are not going to suit the present situation. So to avoid that, many countries have rewritten their constitution. But when it comes to Indian constitution, this case is not going to relate to it, because as you all know, in India there are many social groups, there are many social diversities, there are many political parties, and there are many aspects which can show the unity in diversity of a country. Though having all such social diversities, our constitution is being successful. This is all depending upon the acceptance of the people. Our people did not find any faults. Our people did not find any loopholes in Indian constitution. It doesn't mean there are no loopholes and faults and problems. There are many, but our people have adopted this constitution because this constitution is best for our citizens, which is having all the major aspects, which is going to provide a better life for all the people who are having different identities. In some other countries, the constitution exists as a mere piece of paper. But when it comes to some of the democratic constitutions of other countries, some countries treat constitution just as a mere paper. No one actually follows it. The experience of our constitution is different. But in our country, our people respect the constitution as it is the supreme law of the country, as it is the ultimate law of the country. Over the last half century means, according to present situation, almost 70 years, several groups have questioned some provisions of the constitution. It doesn't mean there were no struggles, there were no questions against the constitution. Many groups, many political parties have questioned the provisions of the constitution, but no large social group or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of the constitution itself. The legitimacy means the validity. So it doesn't mean there are no loopholes. As I have already told you, there are many loopholes, there are many drawbacks, there are many arguments against the constitution, but they are not in large section. No large groups, no large political parties have questioned ever. So here and there, our constitution has given the provision to correct its own mistake, as we have discussed in the previous lesson. And this is an unusual achievement for any constitution. And this is the biggest achievement of the Indian constitution. And the second reason, what is the second reason to accept the constitution? The second reason for accepting the constitution is that the Constituent Assembly represented the people of India. All those 299 members were not giving their opinions alone. They were indicating each and every single group. They indicated each and every single reason. They indicated each and every single community, each and every single religion. All those 299 members were all over from India, and they had their opinions on behalf of people. There was no universal adult franchise at the time, and even though there was no idea of universal adult franchise, so that if it was there, people would have elected representatives from each and every single region. But this system was not there, even though each and every single province had the right to vote and elect its representatives. In that regard, 299 members were elected for Constituent Assembly, and they gave their opinion, they gave their ideas, they gave their ideologies, and they wrote constitution on the basis of the aspects and the interests and the opinions of all the people of our country, not on the aspects of their individual. So the Constituent Assembly could not have been chosen directly by all the people of India. It was elected mainly by the members of the existing provincial legislatures that we mentioned above. As we have already discussed about provinces and provincial legislatures in the previous class. So there were leaders, there were makers of the Indian Constitution in the Constituent Assembly from each and every single province and region. This ensured a fair geographical share of members from all the regions of the country, and the assembly was dominated by the Indian National Congress, and the main role played by Indian National Congress, and the leaders of Indian National Congress played a vital role in making Indian Constitution. And this is the party which led the freedom struggle of India, in which we can see leaders such as Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhiji, and many more, and a variety of political groups and opinions. So this political party had a main role, that is INC, Indian National Congress, and many other several political parties also had their opinions, and many other social groups and political parties had their interest and opinions, and which were all accepted by all the 299 members of the Constituent Assembly. And the Assembly had many members who did not agree with the Congress. It doesn't mean whatever decisions and policies were adopted by Indian National Congress were final. There were some of the other social groups, there were some of the other political parties which had different opinions. Even those opinions were also considered by Congress party. So here the decision was not ultimately unilaterally taken by the Congress itself, but all the decisions were taken by both the groups, such as other social groups, other political parties, and as well as Indian National Congress. In social terms too, the assembly represented members from different language groups. So as I was briefing you, all these 299 members were from different regions, from different backgrounds such as different social groups, different caste, classes, religions and occupations. Even if the Constituent Assembly was elected by universal adult franchise, its composition would not have been very different. So here all these 299 members were representing the people of different group, different class, different community, different language and different profession and different occupation. So because of this reason, our constitution has got a eternal life which is being followed by our people almost 70 years. Finally, the manner in which the Constituent Assembly work gives sanctity to the Constitution. And the third main reason that our Constitution has its own sanctity, because all the 299 members sacrificed their time and their life to write this wonderful Constitution for our country. And there are some of the other reasons can be discussed here. The Constituent Assembly also worked in a systematic way and open and consensual manner. So immediately after each and every single meeting, the members of the Indian Constitutions had debates, discussions, and there were public opinions, and all such public opinions were also considered and accepted by the leaders of Constitution make. First, some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. Then a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a draft constitution for discussion. Then the writing responsibility of the Indian Constitution that was given to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and the chairperson of Constituent Assembly was Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad, and the chairperson of drafting committee was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. I hope you all know that. Several rounds of thorough discussion took place on the draft constitution. Immediately after the drafting of the Indian Constitution, several meetings were taken place, several debates were taken place, and many of the issues were discussed by all the members of the Constituent Assembly as well as the members of the drafting committee. And clause by clause, each and every single clause was also discussed by all the leaders. More than 2000 amendments were considered, and immediately after the draft document that was not accepted, so many changes were taken place. Here as according to this information, almost 2000 amendments were done before we adopt the constitution, and the members deliberated for 140 days, 114 days spread over 3 years. So as I have already told you, it has taken almost 3 years of time to finalize the drafted constitution and presented every word spoken in the Constitution Assembly. And whatever discussions, debates were taken place in the Constituent Assembly during the making of the Indian Constitution, all such meetings are recorded. Each and every single word which is spoken by the leaders is recorded, and it is also preserved. These are called Constituent Assembly debates, and these are what called Constituent Assembly debates. And at last the Constitution printed. These debates are 12 bulky volumes, and these all words are spoken and they are debated, they are discussed, and they are all recorded into 12 bulky volumes. We can find 12 important books of the discussions of the leaders during the making of Indian Constitution. So I hope you are getting the knowledge and understand about how Indian Constitution is drawn up under very difficult circumstances, and these debates provide the rationale behind every provision. They provide us rationale behind every provision of the Constitution, and these are used to interrupt the meaning of the Indian Constitution. And these all 12 bulky volumes give us detailed information, a full information about how Indian Constitution was drawn up and what are the important policies, laws, provisions adopted by our leaders during making the Indian Constitution. This is all about the Constituent Assembly. In my next video class, we shall discuss about the guiding values of the Indian Constitution. Till then, take care. Goodbye.